Wednesday morning. I thought our guys came out, we got some good work in. We continue to emphasize situations, fundamentals, all aspects. You had some good work in special teams today. Obviously, just in all aspects, continuing to push. And, our guys, the embrace of that, the understanding of the steps that are necessary to grow and continue to be as consistent as we possibly can in our preparation, which will allow us to be as consistent as possible, as we're able to take the field, come Saturday. Trying to always create adverse situations where we must overcome. Going on the road, late kickoff here at NC State, and so I think our guys they understand the steps that are necessary, and making sure that we're controlling things that we can control each and every play, and being able to focus from there. Earlier in the week, I talked about you'll be able to provide a little bit of a personnel update here today. So just to talk about a couple of changes that will be updated to the roster and other situations. First off, on Monday, or I guess it was Sunday, I had a conversation with James Blackman. You came in, had a really good talk. James, discussed the interest in being able to explore other opportunities after he graduates here from Florida State, and it's something that I support. James and I have really developed a good relationship over the last 9 months, and I appreciate all the work that he's poured into this program, and he's an incredible young man. Has a bright future in front of him. Obviously, as I told him, that's something that he's going to start that process now as he continues to go to school, and you give everything that he can in that aspect, and that's going to be his focus here moving forward. But I'd like to thank James for what he's done throughout his career here at Florida State, and he's been put in a very challenging situation. It's real easy for people to pinpoint one person or one instance of different things, but I think James is he's dealt with coaching changes. He's dealt with a lot of changes when it comes to the personnel and situations around him, and he's always handled himself with class. And he's a young man that is a great character, and has a great future in front of him. And so I just wanted to thank James for the time that he provided me and the opportunity to coach him, and I wish him all the best as he's moving forward. Marvin Wilson and Devontae Love Taylor both have experienced injuries that will keep them out for the rest of the year. Marvin he had a slight procedure that was done. He'll be back. To full speed here really soon. But I appreciate Marvin and his just the leader that he's worked to be to a lot of these young guys, and in all aspects of what he does. He's going to still be around each and every day. He's out there encouraging guys at practice. I thought his energy on the sideline there Saturday was very impressive. I hate for him that he's not going to be able to finish up this season with us. But it's something that he had to get done, and definitely we support him in his rehabilitation, and obviously what his future is going to be. Devontae, everybody saw this past week. It was unfortunate that that injury has occurred, and but since he stepped foot on campus, Devontae's been one of our leaders, and a guy that really just is such a servant's heart, and his work with the younger players that have been around him, and just the example that he is. It's been special to see, and obviously he's going to start his rehabilitation process here soon, and we're going to work to hopefully be able to get him back here this next year, because he's a great young man, and I think has a tremendous future in front of him. Just unfortunately he won't be in for the rest of this season. Tamorrion is no longer a part of the program, and we'll move forward there. Jared Jackson, got some great news on Jared. I thought Jared was a young man that was through transfer, was ineligible this year. This last week he received his NCAA waiver for immediate eligibility, and then here just this week he got his ACC waiver. Jared is now available and will work. He's been working, doing a really nice job. Going through working on our scout team units, and has really helped provide a great look throughout this year, and been working individually. I'm excited that the work that he's put in is going to put him in a position to hopefully be able to help this football team here these games to end it, to wrap up the end of the season. And they're definitely excited about his future and just the opportunity. Now he gains that year back. So not only does he get the eligibility this year, but now he'll have 3 years remaining, for the rest of his career here as a Seminole. So definitely got some great news in regards to that. I'll talk about it if there's any questions when it comes to any other personnel. Obviously, we'll discuss. I do want to point out that Hamza has had his best week this week. Has been involved in all drills and everything that we've done, and definitely is responding the right way in within his rehabilitation and all aspects. But he's had probably the biggest workload that he's had up until this point. And I tell you what, it's just a real joy to see his energy, the excitement, the leader that he is, and kind of inspiration for others. So was definitely excited to see him even get more involved this week, because we were excited last week of what we saw, and then really took a big step forward throughout practice and preparation. So we're excited to see what is in front of him here as the week progresses.
First question will be Chris Neal from Noles.
Continuing on with Hamza and the safeties, what's your expectations for that group in the sense of guys being able to play Bernardo Green and Travis J, for example?
Actually, all three of them got practice reps today in team units, and so it was good to see those guys moving around. Travis was able to get more work yesterday, and then really responded well. We'll see. It's going to be one of those things we're going to track through the end of the week. Bernardo, has just done an incredible job in his rehabilitation. This was. We were unsure coming into the week what it would look like, and he felt through yesterday. So he said he was feeling really good, and he was able to get him out and moving around. And then today, he took some quality reps. We'll see how he responds here the next few days. But I think all of those guys have an opportunity to be available, and we'll see how the week progresses.
With some high-profile players leaving the team, particularly James and Tamorrion, how have other players talked to you about that? Have they responded okay to that situation?
Absolutely. I mean, the guys that are here, have come to work each day, this week, and just continue to focus on their improvement and this football team. That's something that I appreciate. And, at the end of the day, it's what we're here to do. And, it's our coaching staff, our players, everybody involved is to invest in each other and invest in this program and to do things to a certain standard. It's challenging, when you have disappointment, there on game day and you come up short. But the objective doesn't change. Our job and responsibility as players and coaches is to get better and to go out there and put ourselves in the best position to win. And that's what we're going to continue to do every day with all aspects of what we're doing within the program. And we've got some guys that are unbelievable in how they work and unbelievable in what they're doing. And I know we mentioned Asante there, this last week, and just how that's kind of shown up. But guys they're older players, Emmett Rice, Jay-Sean Corbin. Just remarkable. Cam McDonald. I was thinking about some older guys that really just you're pushing themselves harder than they really ever pushed, just to help with that process and to be the example and just to be the best version of them. And this is not for everybody. There's at the end of the day, there's going to be challenges that show up. There's going to be challenges that show up not in a football season and in every aspect of what you do. There's also going to be challenges in life, and how you respond to those challenges, really speaks to who you are and what you're all about. And we're excited about the guys that we have and moving forward.
That would be Matt Baker from Pennsylvania.
Sorry, two things. Just to clarify on Terry, that was his decision?
Yes, he's no longer part of the program.
Okay, just double checking. And then the second part, obviously this is a crazy year in every sense. How does this level of attrition compare to what you might have expected just as a first year program going through this stuff?
I mean, as a first year coach, in a program, you don't come in seeing what I never think about attrition. It's not something that, I don't, from the day that I got the job here, these are all my players. They're all guys that I'm responsible for. It's my job and to help them develop and grow in every aspect. I don't want to lose any player. And there's guys that we've had to go in different directions with, due to whatever circumstance or decisions that are made. But I can promise you, I want guys that are here that are 100% invested in growth and development, and guys that that understand how to respond when things go good and when things maybe don't go as well for you. But it's going to be about that constant that constant and consistent work that we have to put in every aspect. And so I'm definitely excited about some of the steps that we've seen, especially from some of the young players that have really been forced into action. You'll hear early. just their attitude and approach. It's been pretty remarkable. But I never came in thinking, well, this is what it's going to be. Who's going to be a part of it, who's not. But we're going to continue to hold people to the standard of what it takes to be successful, and that's something that's important to me, and it's going to be definitely important to what this program is going to be built upon here as we continue to grow.
Not to belabor anything about Tamorrion, but like 4 weeks ago, he's on crutches versus North Carolina, like chasing his teammates around the field after that win and celebrating, and now he's no longer part of the program. Do you have an understanding or what changed, I guess, with him?
That's a question that we had to talk, and it's North Carolina game was a really, really good game. It was one that there was a lot of excitement, some positive things that were happening. I think Tamorrion worked hard to get himself back, to be able to take the field this last week, and he's no longer part of the program this week.
Hey, Coach, do you think this is something these guys leaving the team would have happened sooner had you had a traditional offseason and spring practice? And obviously, James is very popular with his teammates. How has the team reacted to that?
No, James, to answer your question, are you asking, do I think that there would have been attrition if we had a spring practice? Continue on. I guess I don't really understand that question. If that would have happened, if we would have had spring, I think, every day and every opportunity you get to be around guys working, whether it's practice, game, obviously through games, you continue to build that relationship and have a better understanding of why you do what you do, and obviously how to develop to continue to do it better and at a higher level. And so that's something that we've worked on. James, I think everybody understands this has been a challenge for James, and I'll tell you, I was really disappointed when he was taking the field there the other day, to hear some fans of the people booing him when he took the field. That bothered me. And we talk about a young man that going out there and has invested a ton into this program. It is not, maybe it has not worked out at a high enough level for maybe for him and for us at times to achieve the success we wanted. But it's a challenge, and I respect James. I respect who he is as a young man, and I think that it's one of those things that he's going to continue to grow from, the experiences that are in front of him. But I understand his decision. And that's something that we sat down and had a good talk on Sunday, and I told him anything I can ever do to help him, I'll fully support him and help him in any way that I possibly can, because he's worked, he's invested. He hasn't had the best of situations. There's probably a couple times he could have made a change in his career even before this. But he gave us a chance, and he gave us an opportunity, and I'm grateful for that opportunity. I'm glad to know that to know James Blackman and the person that he is. And I absolutely believe that there's probably a right situation that can fit and check off the things that he's looking to do and accomplish as he wraps up his collegiate career. And I'll be there to help support and cheering and whatever I can do throughout that process. And he knows that. And so I think our team, they all support him. And we all want to see James in the best situation possible for him. And so we definitely wish him all the best with wherever that next step in his journey is going to be.
Hey, Coach, how's it going? What is the status of Jordan Travis for the upcoming game on Saturday?
Jordan will continue to evaluate how he progresses throughout the end of the week to coming up on Saturday. But that's one of those things, just like we've had earlier in the season. We just kind of evaluate that day by day.
Go back to Ira.
With Hamza and you already spoke about him a little bit, but is that the first time he's done team stuff, or has he been able to do team stuff at any point earlier?
It was the most extensive work. I mean, he's been out and in practice settings and different things like that. When it comes to full speed, rep after rep, I mean, he was able to put together a really good sequence this week and and how he's working. And I'll tell you, we're out on the field. I guess it was yesterday, and there's a play on defense, and he came up and you fit a play right where you need to be. I mean, great contact, and just to see the smile on his face, it literally brought a tear to my eye, right, on the practice field yesterday when I saw his smile, because that's one of the things that you lose sight of is just the emotional, situations that these kids go through. And Hamza had obviously an injury that. It was devastating emotionally to him. I mean, it was one of those things. I mean, this kid loves playing the game. He is a student of it. He wants to be better. All those things that as a coach you're just pouring into, and just to see that smile yesterday on the practice field for an opportunity to compete and that joy. That's what I do. I mean, that is it. And to see the steps taken in a positive direction. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited about what this week holds for him, and and whether he's ready to play Saturday or he's continuing to get better. He's continuing to improve. He's continuing to invest, and his teammates see it. His coaches see it, and we're grateful to have him and how he's progressing.
All right, so we Kurt Weiler from Tallahassee.
You talked some about Jordan and kind of evaluating him leading up to the game. If he's unavailable, if you have to go to Chuba, I mean, Coach Dillingham talked Monday about kind of throwing. I think he used the phrase "throwing him to the wolves" of kind of the situations he was put into, trailing late in games the last 2 weeks. I guess what would be if it's obviously not ideal and it's tough being a true freshman, but what would be your feeling about kind of getting him to play in a fresh game if he had to kind of start Saturday?
We'll evaluate to see where what all that looks like. Obviously, Jordan's status and where that's at. We've been through it. We had Tate that was in that situation earlier this season, and Tate was dealing with he was a little sick last week, wasn't available a couple days in practice, and was able to get back for the game this past week. And so Chuba, it was good for him just to really have to get more repetitions, even going into the last week. And so it's good to see him continuing to grow in that situation. And obviously here early in the week we've been able to get both those guys a lot of reps, and I think that Chuba his development is something that is it's going to be an ongoing process just due to the circumstances that he's had to face, whether with the injury there in fall camp, the time that he's missed, but being able to, the importance of every rep, the importance of everything that he's doing on the practice field. Any game situation that he can find himself in is one that's, he's learning on the run. And obviously last week and the week prior were challenges just because of the game situation and what he was kind of, forced to have to do. But you really liked his response and the way that he's prepared each week, since he's been cleared. And so he's continuing to prepare, this week to be ready for any opportunity that might present itself.
But two more. I still be Perry from Tomahawk Nation.
Coach, this is another emotional bump, I guess, in the journey that this team has had to go through so far this season. How do you kind of navigate that with your team? And then do you maybe anticipate a few more kids leaving or opting out?
I mean, you approach every day, trying to pour into each other, pour into players, pour into coaches, continuing to improve in all aspects. This is an emotional year in a lot of ways. And, for what these guys have had to sacrifice just to be able to play the game of football. And, with COVID and testing and all the things that they've had to do, it's unreal. And, to be able to come to work and to build each other and support each other, that's one of the great joys of being a part of a team. And, we're going to meet these guys where they are and continue to help them grow and get better. And that's truly going to be, our continued focus.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys. One thing I wanted to do first to the media, I wanted to say thank you for, I know we're held off for some of the personnel questions throughout the week. I appreciate you guys respecting that and, being able to get to things. I wanted to have an opportunity to see where things stood, not just with guys that are not, obviously some of those situations, but also being able to get the evaluation of Devontae and on that moving forward. So I appreciate you guys' patience. And then, also wanted to wish everybody a happy Veterans Day. That's something that we talked about as a team, is the importance of this day and for the service of all the veterans and to the men and women that help protect our country and allow us the freedoms that we have. I'm so very grateful. And, we have a couple of veterans within our organization and staff that our guys were able to give an ovation to their after practice. Is pretty special to see. And so to all the veterans that have served, I just want to say thank you, and we appreciate your service and just who you are. So you guys have a great day, and see you.